Hi everybody, it's Karen with Are You Prepared Mama, and today I'm going to give you a tour of my garden. So we're at the first bed of the garden, and this was supposed to be about 300 stalks of corn. That's about what we planted. And we got a whopping 4 stalks of corn right now in our garden. Some weeds, but you know what? We figure this is a learning experience for us. And while it's disappointing, we're learning something. So we have that. We have something that moves in the wind to keep the birds away. And then we have 2 garden beds that are supposed to be flowers. And we have a couple of flowers in them, but unfortunately, we don't have a ton of flowers this year. The seeds that we used didn't come up. But the idea is once we have beautiful flowers, we have this nice garden bench that we can sit in and enjoy the flowers. The other reason that we're trying to bring flowers into the garden is because we need pollinators. So these next 2 rows are supposed to be our herb garden. And we've had, obviously, as you can see, lots of weeds. Weeds took over and the herbs did not do great, but we do have some. Over here, we have thyme it's coming up and it's actually growing. And our next bed, we don't have a whole lot. Here we have echinacea, and it looked like it was going to completely die, but we do have a couple of blooms on each plant that are still there. And then next to it we have hibiscus. So the plan is to grow hibiscus because it is a medicinal herb and it helps lower blood pressure. Then down here, this is our dead chamomile. Chamomile, when we transplanted it, it was growing where it didn't belong, and where we transplanted it, it did die. However, the blooms were on it, so I was able to go ahead and self-seed for next year. So next year, this area should have plenty of chamomile blooms. And if we come over to our next bed, we've got a couple of things going on. So here, you'll see we have some potato plants. We just have a couple that have actually established themselves. But we've got a couple. Here's another right here. And then we have 2 more down here at the end of the row. So we've got a couple of potato plants coming up, and we're going to have to go ahead and start mounding them. But over here, I think the thing that has taken off the most are our onions. So we have a whole row of onions. And this row of onions is doing really, really well. Yes, we've got some more weeds in there that need to come out, but overall, we're doing very well. On the other side, we have cucumbers that are starting to trellis, and I am really excited about that. We do have some known issues that we're going to have to look into. We have some yellow, I don't know if you can see them well, but we have some yellow spots on some of the leaves, and that's something that we are going to have to address. But it is growing, it is trellising, and we're really excited to see what we're going to get. And more than that, we are already starting to get some blooms. These blooms have started down here, but we are starting to get blooms, and we're really excited. So we have trellises that we made from cattle panels, and we just put zip ties up here at the top and then made an A-frame with it, and it works really well. The plan is next year, where we have the sprinkler system underneath that you should be able to see, is we're going to go ahead and plant carrots underneath. Right now is actually carrot planting time for zone 5, but we are getting ready to go on vacation and there's too much happening in our lives, so that'll wait till next year. Then we have 2 rows of tomato plants which are growing great guns. I'm really excited to see how our tomatoes are doing. We put 2 of these, I call them whirligigs. We want to keep the birds off of our tomatoes, and a good way to do that is for motion. And so we went ahead and put those in here to help or get rid of the birds and the tomato plants. So we are excited. We are already starting to see our first tomatoes, which is great. And we've really enjoyed that so far. If I see any as I'm walking, I'll point them out. Here we go. We've got us a tomato started right down here. So, well, I don't know if we can get it on the camera. But yeah, our first tomato. There we go. First tomatoes down there. And for some reason, we got a couple of pepper plants planted within our tomatoes. So we've got peppers on them. So we've got peppers on our pepper plants. So they're going really well. Some of our tomato plants got outside of the cages, a lot of it. So we're gonna have to go ahead and twine those together. But then we have another row of pepper plants that are doing well. We've got a watering system in, so they should be okay. Looks like something has eaten most of the leaves off of this plant. So we're gonna have to take a look at that and see what's going on with it. But yeah, we've got a lot of pepper plants. The next row in our garden is our beans. And our beans seem to be doing pretty well. I'm seeing a bug on one of the leaves right now. So, and we've got some holes in it, so we're gonna have to watch that. But overall, our bean plants seem to be doing pretty well. I'm not seeing a whole lot of blossoms or blooms on it yet, so there's blooms on that one a little bit, but we'll keep an eye on it as we go along. So those are our bean plants. We got a couple of beans down there. And another whole row of bean plants. I don't know if you can see the sticks well, but we have bare root where they're supposed to be berry bushes. And I'm not sure that we're gonna get, well, I know we're not gonna get anything this year. I'm not sure they're actually alive anymore. But that's what the next two rows are our berry bushes. And then we have melons. We have watermelons here. Really excited about that. We think it'll do really well. We've got a couple more trellises of peas, or cucumbers rather. And then these are once again right along the edge. They're cucumbers, and we have cucumbers over here. The last part of our garden was supposed to have peas in it, and it's right down this section, but they didn't come up except for these plants over here. So we do have pea plants. Hopefully we will get enough peas so that we can replenish our seeds for next year so it goes well. But for now, this is what we have. But this, and I'll give you a view down, this is our garden. So there's one end. We have some gates in the middle. You'll see a gate right there. And that's all the way to the other end of our garden. It's about 120 feet long and it's about 30 feet wide. And this has been our main project for the spring on the farm this year. Lots of work still to do, lots of weeds still to get out, but overall it has been a great experience and we're really excited to see what happens with the garden this year. Thanks for joining me. So I hope you've enjoyed the tour of our garden. I hope it's a blessing to you. I hope you learned from it. I know we've been doing a lot of learning from it. But until next time, remember, you've got this, Mama.